I would like to open the Q&A session. Also, for those people that are online, please do not hesitate to write your question, and then I hope I will get that question from the online board.
So we have some questions online. Do
yes, please.
To read them?
Yes, go ahead.
So the first one is for Camille. This is from Dima Al-Masri. How are you planning on regenerating the absorbent magnetite? And also, if it is to be used in an absorption column, how do you avoid the pressure drop from the magnetite particle use?
Okay, so thanks for the two technical questions. So concerning the regeneration, this is something on which we work, but we have things coming from the two sides. So it's possible to regenerate our magnetite by switching the pH, so to sorb and desorb. But the main thing we have from water treatment operators such as Suez is that in fact it's too complex for people on site to do it. So we do not know if we will sell it quickly or maybe keep it for later as a service. Concerning the second part and being for putting our magnetite in the column, so the question is in fact that of course yes we have very small particle sizes. So when you put these very small particles in a column, you have a high pressure drop. What we are doing is granulating our powder, and the second thing we are doing is putting it into a fiber or membrane to have both absorption and filtering effect. So this is the thing we are doing at this time and what to propose.
Thank you very much, Camille.
Yes, and we have a second question that's for Olga. So what's the recovery capacity for your MOF for gold?
It of course depends on the concentration, but with a standard procedure, we've shown take basically 1 gram of gold with 1 gram of sponge, which is 100 weight%. So we basically double the weight of sponge by 2. But at lower concentration, it can be different. It's under development now, so we are assessing. We have now, from the lab, we have to go to exact solution which exists in industry and see what is the uptake capacity there.
Okay, thanks very much, Olga. Maybe I can just add a question. So how often can this sponge be used? In a way, so once you absorb, then you...
A very good question, and oftentimes asked, because we can take so much of gold and the mechanism is absorption and reduction. So we get all the nanoparticulate gold inside the sponge. Sponge should be destroyed in the end of the process, and because it's so cheap in production, we believe.
Okay.
It's not a problem. Also, it contains iron apart from the gold, which is not a big problem to remove.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you. Do we have a question from the audience here present? Yes, please. You'll just get the mic, just a moment.
Gentleman who was on screen, I think it was Hydrel, Michael, on the question on the whey that you mentioned, converting whey into energy. Have you also considered converting whey into fertilizer substitutes for regenerative agriculture? Because it is sometimes used, I've observed, in different parts of the world. And that might have a higher value than trying to convert it to energy.
Thanks very much for the question. Michael, that's for you.
Sure, I'm very happy to answer it. It is definitely true. Whey is even used as a food. I remember when I was a kid, I could purchase this in the supermarket as a food. However, it's not used as that anymore. I should say it could be used as a fertilizer. We have no shortage of fertilizer here in this part of Switzerland where I live. What we will do is we will use the remnants of the whey utilization of the extraction of energy as a fertilizer. That is actually enough as a fertilizer to fertilize the fields around here. Yeah.
Okay, thanks very much, Michael. I always thought by drinking Rivella, I would also be part of the recycling of whey, but maybe that has also changed in terms of the processes that they use.
It has changed, yeah.
Yes. So that was a myth, I guess. Maybe I can just add on, I mean, in your digester, I would also have a question for you. I guess you're also producing a sludge in the digester. And what happens with that sludge?
Yeah, so we still need traditional treatment, which is not a problem for our system. We will most likely be based at local wastewater treatment plants because they're usually in the proximity also of the producers of the wastewater, of the food and beverage industry. So we reduce the amount of sludge considerably because we're removing the organics. However, there's still sludge there, and the sludge at the moment, depending on what's inside the sludge, either needs to be incinerated, as it is happening right now because of the heavy metal content of the sludge. However, that's not the case with whey. So that sludge that I mentioned, it could be used as a fertilizer.
Yeah, so it'd be good to have that sludge in a way not in the wastewater treatment, because then mixing it with municipal wastewater sludge, then you have the problem of the heavy metals, and then kind of the limitation of reuse, I guess. Yeah. Exactly. Okay, thanks very much. Totally right. I'll maybe take one last question before we close this first part of the session. Is there one last question? Is there something online? Okay. Okay, that's good.